Your referee in charge of the action when the cage door closes, Mr. Basil Bam Bam Majub.
Bam Bam tells him to fight. Good sportsmanship to open it up. And a big shot landed just like that.
Shaine Ferrier comes out with a big jab cross and floors Jackson Ryder.
Dragging Ryder out to the center of the cage. Recovery mode here for Ryder.
Well, Showtime coming out living up to the moniker here tonight, putting on a show.
Showtime.
Is Shaine Ferrier.
Shaine Ferrier launching that right hand. He needs to calm down though here. Looks like Jackson Ryder's.
And you see the right eye of Ferrier bleeding. Ryder trying to get on top. Ferrier back up. Still firing the hands. The ones and twos all upside the head of Jackson Ryder. And now we're settling in a little bit now, guys.
Jackson Ryder doing a good job fighting on the single here. Scores the takedown. Shaine Ferrier needs to be careful with all the explosive motions because as the fight wears on, it's going to be harder to do that stuff. But the kid can bring it, huh?
What a fun start to this one.
Hey, you wanted a show, ladies and gentlemen. Showtime. Shaine Ferrier's giving it to us right now.
Shaine Ferrier's corner asking him just to simply breathe, and I have to agree, you got to calm down a little bit. I really don't like the way that Jackson Ryder's standing like that. You got to stand up in base, son.
When you give yourself a name like Showtime, you got to come out and earn it. And just like that, Shaine Ferrier has showed he is living up to the billing.
There is no doubt, but I tell you what, Jackson Ryder, he's game, he's tough. I don't like his hand positioning. I don't like where his chin is, but he's here for it.
I mean, all these guys showboating with these nicknames. I mean, Lord, who has nicknames around here, right, guys?
Boom goes the dynamite.
Great fight here. I mean, really got the fans on their feet here at the beautiful Paragon Casino. Now we've calmed down a little bit. Got about a minute to go here in round number one. Ferrier taking his time now a little bit, catching his breath. Got that adrenaline dump. Now he's settling into the fight. Got Coach Alan Gray, head coach at Global Fitness Center, to our right here, talking to his young man inside the cage right now.
Ooh, nice straight left hand.
And now here comes Jackson Ryder, lands a couple.
Big right hand, though, from Ferrier. He has big moments, but he's got to relax a little bit, calm down, because Jackson Ryder, again, finding his range, extending things a little bit, having a little more success. Big
and the
right
boys
hand.
of Ryder, I mean, he's in there cooler than a polar bear's toenails right now. Nothing is affecting this young man.
Ferrier continuing to look for those big shots. But now it's Ryder with him up against the cage.
Round number one starting to wind down here, fellas.
Knee up the middle from Showtime as this round ends. Well, certainly the most exciting round that we've had so far here at AKA 22. Showtime, Shaine Ferrier comes out landing some big shots. Heck of a job by Jackson Ryder just to weather the storm there, especially early on in that first round, Matt.
Absolutely, and Jackson Ryder, he has a skill set. Looks like he can wrestle a little bit, knows how to score takedowns. When he gets to the top position, though, he's got to settle in and control a little bit better because Shaine Ferrier came out on fire, but he did slow as the round progressed. Let's see if he can recover in between rounds, have another couple big moments. But yeah, you got to think that Jackson Ryder was able to reel him in there as the round progressed.
Your first fight, big adrenaline dump there probably early on in that first round. I'm very curious to see what this second round looks like. It feels like Ferrier has all of the talent and the power in there. He just needs to hone it in a little bit, right?
Hone it in a little bit, yeah, it's wild. He's really putting it out there, but and it's taxing when you do it that way too. And I can just look at Shaine, and I know he's still there, but as the fight continues to go on, if he's using all these explosive motions, he's going to slow down.
Let's see what we have here in round two. Both guys, the slightly slower pace to open things up.
A little different of a pace here, and I really think that this kind of plays into Jackson Ryder's game a little bit. He needs it to be slowed down so he can pick his shots and find them. Use his length a little bit.
Well, after a huge exchange to open up round one, there's a straight left from Ryder that lands here in round two. Ferrier looking for the kick to the body.
I don't know if this is a fight that Shaine Ferrier really was able to prepare for much, but anytime you're fighting a long southpaw, it is a different game. Different attacks, different ways to go about it. Nice little flicky kick coming from the Jackson Ryder side. Again, I think if Ryder would start with punches, maybe feint something, he'd have more success turning those kicks over. Nice head movement. Ryder's had some success moving his head off and creating his takedown opportunities with that head movement.
I'll tell you one thing, Ferrier much more composed in this round. He clearly understood he needed to get his wind back and has toned it down a bit here. I expect a big flurry in a moment, though. It's Ryder throwing the big shot that doesn't land.
Nice movement from Ferrier, but you gotta make it count. You know, move off, make a punch miss, and punish him with something coming back.
About 70 seconds left here in round number 2. Ryder slams Ferrier up against the cage here.
I think Ryder's okay with kind of jockeying for position against the fence here, and he scores the takedown and almost passes the guard as well. This is going to be tough for Shaine Ferrier. We're going to see what he has off of his back.
50 seconds left to work for Ryder from the top. Trying to step over. Good job by Ferrier.
Again, Ferrier just being athletic and making something happen. There was very little technique involved there, but here he is. He's on his feet. You see, though, every time he does something, he takes 2 or 3 deep breaths. Uh-oh, that was a bad shot.
Catches a knee to pay for it.
Gotta be careful here. He doesn't want Jackson Ryder to score another takedown here before the round's end, because I think it would give Jackson the round.
Feels like this round belongs to Ryder anyways. He has landed more shots, had the takedown as well. And that's how round number 2 is going to end. Vastly different round number 2 from what we saw in round 1. Huge flurry from Ferrier. Looked great in round 1. It felt like right there he was trying to get his gas tank back a little bit. And I think Jackson Ryder saw that, took advantage, landed a couple of good shots in that round. Had the takedown. Looking like 1-1 at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like the round definitely was in Jackson Ryder's favor, but you got to ask yourself what the judges are watching. They've already made curious decisions earlier in the night, and for me, it seems like Shaine Ferrier, he definitely has the crowd on his side, and when he does something meaningful, you can kind of feel it in here. So I'm curious to know whether or not Jackson Ryder's ahead, or got it tied up right now. On my scorecards, he certainly does. And good thing for Shaine to slow it down a little bit, but he almost slowed it down a little too much there.
Yeah, it's interesting, and that comes with your debut, right? Trying to figure it out. These are the kind of things that he'll learn as he goes through the fight game. But right now, I've got it 1-1. Let's see what we have here in round number 3. Could be some serious fireworks between these two.
Shaine's corner asking him to be first, and he's been first all night. You know, it seems like he has the better pair of hands on him, but Jackson Ryder, opportunistic, scored takedowns, looking good as well. Oh, big punch from Ferrier. Jackson's hurt. He's a little wobbly.
Another right hand lands for Ferrier. Looking to finish this fight here in round number 3. Ryder standing tall.
Shaine Ferrier kind of inviting the offense from Jackson Ryder by approaching with his hands down. And why not? He is having success, but he's got to be careful because kicks hurt.
Yeah, he has kept his hands down for the majority of this round, begging Jackson Ryder to step inside. Ryder now bleeding from his nose.
And just like we saw in the fight previous, the taller, longer guy, he really doesn't have a good jab on him. And man, when you have those dimensions and you're a southpaw, you have the height and you're a decent grappler, it really behooves you to establish and to cultivate a jab so that you can keep that on somebody. It makes all the difference when you're fighting a tall guy.
Well, he didn't land a jab there, but he did land a straight left before putting Ferrier up against the cage here. 1:45 remaining in round number 3. The single leg looking to get the takedown, not yet.
Shaine with his back against the fence. It's going to be difficult to sprawl. He really needs to be pushing down on the head, digging it out. trying to cross-face him. Desperate takedown attempt. Shaine grabbing on the fence a little bit there. I'm surprised Bam Bam didn't notice.
Got away with one there. Now he's listening to the corner, but a little too late.
Big takedown scored. Jackson Ryder knee on belly, gets rolled over to his back. Shaine Ferrier, not the most technical, not exactly tactically sound either, but is physical and winning the moments.
Big exchange there as Ferrier ends up on top. 50 seconds left to work for Shaine. You can see want to advance his position in here. I have a feeling he's very dangerous for Mount. See if he can get there.
Right here, Jackson Ryder's guard is open. Shaine needs a posture up, punch, pass.
There's one left hand that glances off the ear of Ryder. 22 seconds. Ferrier lets Ryder back to his feet. 15 seconds left.
Jackson Ryder, buddy, we got to teach you how to stand up and base, my man.
It's a little staring contest for the final 15. It looks like Ferrier, a final kick to the belly, and that's going to end it here for fight number 3 of the night. Exciting fight, though. I mean, yeah, there's some room to grow for these youngsters, certainly. And then we say this about all these guys, right?
Yeah.
We're talking to a professional sitting beside us here in Matt Schnell. These guys are going to look at this fight. They're going to grow from it, but a heck of a fun fight here for fight number 3, Matt.
No, they'll absolutely get better and improve over time, and that's what it is. You know, I think we've been spoiled here lately with great fighters, guys looking excellent in their debuts and everything in between. And this is what young, up-and-coming fighters look like. This is what guys building their skill sets look like. So, good job. Nice heart from Jackson Ryder. Good performance. Got to think Shaine Ferrier did enough to get it done just by being explosive and athletic. But yeah, both guys have much to work on.
Here's some of the action from round number 3. Those are the 2 right hands that Ferrier landed in the early part of round 3, where it looked like he might have a chance to finish it off. The fight did ultimately go the distance, as Jackson Ryder did a heck of a job weathering the storm throughout this fight. We'll see what the judges have for us as Dynamite is into the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of hooking and jabbing, scooping and slamming, hanging and banging, we are going to the judges' scorecard. Ladies and gentlemen, all 3 judges have seen and scored this fight the same way, therefore declaring your winner by unanimous decision. Fighting out of the red corner, it's showtime! Shaine Ferrier!
Showtime. Shaine Ferrier gets it done in front of the home fans here in his debut. Lived up to the name. It was a heck of a fight. A lot of fun.
Certainly was. Showtime indeed. Heck of a pop from the crowd, too. Good job to the young man. Anytime you come to these events, you have a hometown fight, you should sell some freaking tickets. So good on the kid. Way to perform. Tough fight. Way to get it done.
Well, it's one thing that some people may not understand. These fights are very dependent upon these fighters' fans, right? We need them to show up and be here and be in attendance, and a great job by Shaine Ferrier to not only put on a show for those fans, but to make sure they were here for AKA 22.